So I don't really know how to ever start these. But in this video, we're going to be talking about wrestling. That's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about wrestling. And what it takes to be a good wrestler. In general, what it takes to be good at anything, really. It takes hard work, dedication.
I got a 4 in the AP just because I won't have to take a history class. I just take myself like 5 hours.
And consistency.
Ready, go! Switch! 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 Time. So important. Notice if Bo wasn't turning his hip, he was staying square.
Those are 3 important ones. Let's just make a triangle here. I got a clipboard, by the way. I'm gonna make a triangle. You see my perfect triangle? That's my triangle. So we got H, D at the top, C. So we got HDC here, right? Hard work, dedication, consistency. That's what it takes. Yes, that's what it takes. By the way, I'm Rifle, in case you haven't realized yet. This is Bullet, and that's Fred in the background. He's a little quiet sometimes, but that's all right. Right?
Yeah.
What?
I said yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he said yeah. Fred doesn't have a special name. He just goes by Fred. Anyways, moving on to the next phase. So we got what it takes to be a good wrestler: hard work, dedication, consistency. Work you're putting in while being consistent is important. You don't want to just go there and just be like, just trying to get through the practice or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You want to actually be putting in the hard work because that pays off. You want to actually be simulating a good wrestling match or a good practice. Same with anything. Like, sports in general is just a good thing to think about to help you further in life in general, because consistency, hard work, and dedication pays off in the long run for everything. I'm not trying to lecture you here. This is supposed to be a fun video. What am I talking about? I forget what I'm talking about. Just kidding. We're talking about wrestling. Anyways, next up here, we're going to be talking about more of what it takes to be a good wrestler. So, getting my clipboard out again, my handy dandy clipboard, and we're going to come over here. Excuse me, Bullet. Move, Fred. He's taking a nap. All right, nice. Bullet is my cameraman. So next up is more of what it takes to become a good wrestler, or just good in general. You're going to have a schedule of some sort. The schedule. Also, it's really important to know who you're practicing with. Sometimes you could be wasting your time with certain people or with certain coaches. But he has the right people in his corner, I feel like. All right, so let's add all these up now. So we got 2 hours and 30 minutes. 3 hours, so 5 hours and 30 minutes. Another 2 hours and 30 minutes. So that's 8 hours. Another 3 hours here. That's 11 hours. And another 2 hours and 30 minutes here. That's 13 hours and 30 minutes. And then sometimes on Sundays, we get another hour and 30 minutes. So 15 hours. 15 hours a week, guys, we're looking at. Keep in mind, Bullet is a 9-year-old. 15 hours a week he is wrestling. Man, how do you feel about that, Bullet? How do you feel?
Good.
Yeah, hard worker. Hard worker right there. No excuses, guys. A 9-year-old can work for 15 hours. If you're older than 9, you guys can do it. Isn't that right?
Yeah, you definitely can.
Yeah. Also, it's important to enjoy what you do, right?
Yep.
If you're not enjoying what you do, it's going to feel like a chore. It's going to feel more like work, in a sense. If you enjoy what you do, it's going to feel like play. It's going to feel like fun. You're enjoying it, you know? You're not like, I got to go do this. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You agree with that?
Yes.
Do you enjoy wrestling?
Yeah. Of course.
So yeah, 15 hours a week, guys. So, think about that, 15 hours a week. So now we got that 15 times 4, what is that? 60 hours a month. we have going on here with wrestling. And that's not even including the camps. And he recently just had a camp at a place called Moeller, which each of those days lasted for 3 hours, right? So yeah, that is more than usual. He had that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, right? Or something like that. So each of those were 3 hours long. So he sometimes gets more hours than usual. But his usual week is 15 hours. The camps, I will say, are expensive. Just in general, wrestling is super expensive. Probably one of the most expensive sports you can invest your kid in. I will say that much. But man, does it pay off. It seriously is one of the best sports for youth, in my personal opinion. Of course, you know, everyone has differences and what they think is best for their kid, but me personally, I think wrestling is so good. For one, it teaches you about hard work. Another one, it teaches you about making goals and achieving them. Obviously, things aren't just going to be handed to you when you do wrestling. You got to work at it to achieve trophies. You can't just go in there and just expect to win a tournament with no experience or no time put in. I mean, sometimes you can. Sometimes it's rare though. You're going to have to be putting in the work, especially if you want to make state. That is an extreme amount of hard work and disciplined people getting there to make state. And heck, even if you don't make state, if you're still just enjoying it and keeping it up, dude, you're going to continue to level up and level up and level up and surpass sometimes people that are currently beating you. You never know. And that's the same with any sport. If you just keep at it, it's going to add up. The hours can be different and he could be putting in more, but averagely he's doing 15 hours a week, which is great. That's going to add up in the long run. All right, so yeah, I'm kneeling right now. So yeah, think about each practice you're adding to your time. Look at it like each match in a wrestling match. Say like that person has a total of 200 hours of practice and you have a total of, 1,000 hours of practice. You know, who's going to win? Who has the most time within that match? You get what I'm saying? So that's why practice is important. Practice helps shape you to become better at anything you do. This doesn't have to do with wrestling. This doesn't have to be just about wrestling. It could be with anything you're trying to do. The more time you put into it, well, of course, the better you're going to be at it. The more you put in that hard work at your practice, that could double your time. So say like, you only have an hour of practice and you just go through it. You just want to get through it. That's it. I got an hour of practice. I'll just get through this. If you just play it like that, well, the person who's just like, all right, it's practice, it's game time, this is my time to get better, let's put in this hard work. If you're going, that will make it like you just got 2 hours of practice instead of just an hour. You know what I'm saying? You just doubled your time by putting in that hard work instead of just going through it. Like, it's practice, let's get through it so I can get on with the rest of my day. No, look at practice as something important. Like you're actually putting in that work to become better. You look at it like your time's important. Of course, you only got a certain amount of time in a day, so your time is important. So when you go to put in that hard work at practice, that's doubling your time. That's helping you catch up to people that could be ahead of you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's why putting in the time, the effort, and consistency is important. There's another triangle that we could talk about, and that is desire, belief, and action. You got to have the desire for it. You got to have the belief in yourself and in your training, and you got to have the action to be putting it into existence, such as the hard work or the effort. So desire, belief, and action, the DAB triangle, or whatever you want to call it, also can put your dreams or your goals into reality. What do you got to say about the DAB triangle? You're going to help me with the DAB triangle. So you're going to make it for me. Make a triangle. That's a small triangle, but that works. All right, now put D. Now what's that D stand for?
Desire.
Yes, desire. So you got to have the desire to win or to show up to practice or to just get better. You got to have that desire, right?
Yes.
Okay, now what's the A? Put an A up here. What's the A stand for? I just talked about it. You got it.
Action.
Yes. So you got to have the action to be putting it into existence, right? You got to put forth that action, to put forth the effort. Now B, now what does the B stand for? Yeah, not bro, it's belief, okay?
Okay.
Now name this back off. Desire.
Desire.
Then what?
Action.
Yep.
Believe.
Yep, desire, action, belief. Action is to actually be putting it into existence. You're actually doing it. Say like, for example, you want to make a sandwich for yourself. You're going to have the desire to be hungry, right? And then the action to get your butt up and put what the ingredients needs on the sandwich to make it a sandwich, whether it's a freaking bologna sandwich, ham sandwich, chicken sandwich, whatever you want to make. You got to have that action to be putting that into existence. And then B, what's B? You got to believe.
Believe.
You got to believe you can do it.
Yep.
Yeah, there we go. The dab triangle. That's an important one. Very important. So yeah, that was some fun. You gotta have the desire to go to practice or to get better. You gotta have the belief. You gotta believe in yourself that you're getting better. And you gotta have the action to get yourself up there and putting it into existence by having the action with it. The actual action, you know what I'm saying? And not just for wrestling, I mean just in general, just putting in that action. But yeah, guys, I appreciate y'all tuning into this. This is just gonna be a family channel, and you guys are just getting more involved into my life. This is what we do a lot, as you just saw, 15 hours, sometimes even more each week, but average. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but averagely it's 15 hours a week, so most of our time goes into wrestling. That's not even counting the driving. You know, it adds up, obviously. And also he does gymnastics too on the side, and so does my daughter. Luckily they do the same thing with that. I would love to see my daughter get into wrestling. You know, she goes back and forth with it, but she is really into gymnastics, and gymnastics is extremely important for wrestling. It's a thing that can help make a better wrestler. Heck, it's a thing that could help in general with like all sports, now that I think about it. It just makes you more aware of how to control your body, as well as just in general get you stronger too, and more athletic. Heck, I'm gonna be real with you guys, I'm not the best at these in-person videos. I think my camera's even crooked right now. You would think out of how many subscribers I have, I would have some kind of like professional camera and tripod. I don't. I really don't do in-person videos like this. It's mainly just through gaming. But yeah, I guess that's wrapping up this video. Appreciate y'all taking the time. What do you got to say, Bullet?
And watching this video. And thanks.
Yeah, thanks. Watching this video. Till next time, guys.
Peace.
Peace. Yeah, that was fun. Fred, wake up. Fred fell asleep, I guess. He's been laying there the whole time.
Hi. Everything's upside down.
Yeah. And Fred here, he fell asleep on the job. Fred, you gotta wake up, bro. He was sleeping the whole time. He must have been bored. It's like, dude, does this guy ever shut up?
We have to cook up.